We're coming in
We've
hot.
got sound and everything.
Yeah, we're coming in hot.
Mandy, the silent film. Mandy,
Kinda
the
wish it was
silent
silent.
film.
In case you haven't noticed, we're late because of problems. We're fine.
We're fine. This is Spook of Madness year 4.
We're coming in hot.
We've worked out all the kinks in our 4th year. No, this is the Spark of Madness podcast. We review movies, but we are entering the month of October, which means we're doing Spook of Madness, where every week we do a Halloween horror. Not really horror. It kind of runs the gamut if it applies.
Hey, I think I fixed the audio problem.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Do we want to start over?
Do you really want to do it again? Let's do it again. All right. Woo!
Never mind. Didn't work.
Nope.
I'm smart.
Nope.
All right. Hey, welcome to the Spook.
Hey, that's Matt over there.
That's Spook of Madness number 4. I'm Matt. That's Eric.
Hey. Let's talk about Mandy.
That's right. Our first movie is Mandy, which I don't know if it preceded our fake out to do Rage, the Nic Cage movie.
Was it really
for
a fake
Tubi.
out? I thought it was more like a debacle.
It was just an abandon it.
It wasn't a bad movie. There was just nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
It was so uninteresting. But Mandy was good.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're speechless.
Yeah.
That's how the podcast would have been.
We had a guest, Ty, who you've seen before, and we both were talking about like, what did Aaron made us do?
I didn't pick Rage.
Who picked Rage?
I did, and I wasn't going to be on the show.
No! Why would you pick Rage?
We thought it would be
had to
funny.
pick a random Nic Cage one, and also knowing that we were doing this movie, it would have been like a good lead-in to see how crazy it could go. So I'd be interested to hear if there's any like.
It's basically a revenge movie. But
It's just another one.
but not very good.
Okay.
It wasn't like the worst movie ever.
It was just like competent bad.
It was contrived.
Yeah.
So our first movie, though, for Spook of Madness is also Nic Cage appearing in the 2018 movie. So relatively new.
Relatively new.
Movie
a
called
leopard.
Mandy by the director Panos Cosmatos.
That's got to be like a stage name.
His
Maybe.
dad was a director, apparently.
Oh, really?
From what I found out.
Okay.
I think he directed like 80s action movies.
Oh, nepotism, eh?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this movie, here's the brief synopsis, but then immediately after, I think we need to just figure out what happens in the movie. In the Pacific Northwest in 1983, outsiders Red Miller, didn't know his name was Red, and Mandy Bloom lead a loving and peaceful existence when their pine-scented haven is savagely destroyed by a cult led by the sadistic Jeremiah Sand. Red is catapulted into a
Phantasmagorical?
Yeah.
I'm not even reading it. I don't know what that word is. Come on.
Journey filled with bloody vengeance and laced with deadly fire. Yeah.
And acid.
And there's a lot of stuff going on in this movie, which we'll dig into. And
I'm pretty sure that this movie is fundamentally unknowable, but we will try.
I gave this movie a rating when I saw it the first time when it came out, and I have since changed my rating.
Oh, did it
so
go-
I'll
did it go
I'll
up or
give you
down?
both at the end.
Did it go up or
You've seen
down?
this before?
I have, yeah. I tried to get you guys to watch it last year one time
You
when I was
did?
going to be gone. Yeah. Or maybe 2 years ago. Maybe immediately after I saw it. I was going to be gone on my trip. I tried to get you guys to watch it, and I think that was when you did the Care Bears.
That show was fun.
That was great.
You guys went through with that episode.
I remember sitting there watching the movie like, what am I doing with my life?
But we should have just not. So you ruined the whole joke at the end.
I couldn't take it anymore.
I wanted to just make people believe that it was an amazing movie.
Couldn't do it.
Let's talk about the
It was impossible.
cinematography. Yeah. But Mandy, though,
Ruined it.
what? Okay, let's go around. If somebody was, we just kind of read the brief synopsis. If somebody asked you, what is Mandy about? Like what, or you were going to give them like the 1 or 2 sentence, like, this was my takeaway from the movie, what would you say? It could be a reflection of your opinion too, but like, or how would you describe the movie to them? Because I feel like this is one of those just sensory overload type of movies that takes a minute to try and explain.
I think it's a visually interesting movie.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
all I can
definitely.
say. It's a visually interesting
You don't
movie.
think you don't know what it's about at all?
Well,
I mean, I kind of do, but
I can
Give us like a
follow-
one word.
It's not the greatest story in the world, very basic
No, it's
story.
pretty basic, yeah.
But it's just it's definitely an artsy film.
But not the kind that we hate.
No, I kind of enjoyed it, yeah.
This was like Mother, but better.
I feel like this was like
And there were some funny moments.
if Darren Aronofsky was like obsessed with metal and fantasy novels,
and 80s.
he would.
80s reference.
Chainsaws.
Chainsaws.
Yeah.
From Silver Lake. The guy from Predator.
Yeah. I like
You
that
don't
guy.
even shave.
Oh, that was such a great video.
Everything.
The musical.
Yeah.
What was it
Nobody did.
about to you, Matt?
Well, I don't even know if it's really about anything.
Come on.
If I were to,
Take a
if I were
spitball.
to, like, having just heard the plot synopsis, I think that gives you an idea of a story. But that to me isn't the movie. It has story points, but that's not it. It's basically a
Fever Dream.
yeah. It's like a slow, long nightmare that is like flickering different colored lights at you until
It's an acid trip.
until Nick, it
An
really does.
LSD trip.
Nic Cage then just inhabits that world, and there's just like if you know somebody who is obsessed with metal and all that shit, and they just want to talk about it all the time. That's how this movie
Matt
felt
cursed.
to me.
We're rated 16 and
Yeah.
up.
Thank you.
No. Put it on his face.
But yeah, it felt like somebody wanted to visualize a dream they had one time that they didn't write down. They tried to write it down, but didn't write it down very well.
Shame on you,
And then made the
Cosmatos.
movie. That's how it came across to me.
Well, that was a long-winded explanation.
That was just two sentences.
You
Just
can't give me one
long-
word.
What is it? Goblin mac and cheese.
Excuse me? Yeah.
Remember the
that-
commercial?
That was from, apparently that was the same guy who did Too Many Cooks.
Aha.
Was the goblin mac and cheese was
Yeah,
too many cooks?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they just put in that movie. Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't a real thing. It's a fake thing.
Well, we thought it was fake to start with.
It
We just thought they
absolutely
made it for the
seems
movie.
completely random.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's random.
I
What?
can't-
We'll get into it. It's
okay,
random,
okay.
but not as random as you think.
Okay. I will say the first half, I do feel like this is a movie that is split right down the middle. And I think I even timed it that at the halfway point is the like 45 seconds of Nic Cage silently and tearfully looking at his Mandy wife getting burnt alive. That's the halfway point.
I know I'd
And
be if
feel
my
like
Mandy wife was.
the movie before that and the movie after that are two completely different things.
So there are some, there's a lot of 80s vibes to this thing. So we talked about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of feel to it.
A little bit, yep.
The heavy metal bands, hair bands, references to Silver Lake, because that's where they live closest
Pretty
to.
kind of cliche-ish cult stuff,
You
too.
have the guy from Predator. I mean, like he's in a lot of 80 movies.
He's awesome.
But there's a lot of those actually reminded me of Conan.
Yeah.
See, I didn't watch. I still haven't
Oh,
seen
yeah,
it
was
since you
it
guys
Conan?
did it. That was another one. You
Yeah,
did
this
on
reminds me of Conan. There's a lot of like the
Man,
forging
Conan
of
was
the
good.
forging of the weapon, the cutting out the heads, like when he rolls the head. At the end. So it's like there's a lot of things that reminded me of Conan.
What's
And
best in life?
revenge for his
Acid.
mother. Anyways,
Well, I didn't get to say what I thought
if
this
it
movie was
bleeds,
about.
we can kill it.
Different movie, but another actor from that movie.
Aaron, what's your favorite planet?
What's my favorite planet?
Jupiter. Yeah, that was a line in this movie.
Cool.
Saturn, I thought it was his favorite.
His was Saturn. You're right.
That's wild.
It's the rings.
I think that if I had to come up with a word for this movie, it would be sobriety.
What?
I came up with it while we were doing the podcast just now.
Okay,
It's just a
okay.
spitball. It feels like the movie's trying to find a respite from something for this character, Nic Cage. And sobriety doesn't have to mean from drugs, because there are drugs in this movie.
Yeah.
It feels like he's trying to get home and rest.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's just me spitballing.
That's the opening.
Because, like I said, I
Yeah.
think this movie's fundamentally unknowable.
It is confounding. So let's start with the first half, which again, and do you guys agree with me that it's a
It
movie
changes.
in two halves? Because
Yeah.
Nic Cage is a background character for the first half of the movie. He's barely in it.
I don't know about barely, but he's definitely not the
They
forefront.
use him right.
Yeah.
In the
They-
second half, I would argue the second
use him
half
right
is
in
when
the
they.
first half too.
No, I think they use him just
You
fine
know
in the
what
first
they
half.
do? You're
What?
not going to say anything. You're not going to have that much dialogue.
Well, it's not that. It's just that it wasn't
You're
his
just going to
movie
be Nicolas
yet.
Cage, and we're going to uncage you.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't about him in the first half. That's all.
True. But he was great. He didn't take it away from me.
I thought the dialogue between him and Mandy was some of the worst I've ever.
Oh
heard.
my God! It wasn't even bad. It
Knock.
just was unremarkable.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Eric Estrada. Eric Estrada who? Eric Estrada from Chips.
Yeah, I've heard worse lines.
That was a whole scene.
Yes, it was. I've heard worse lines. I've seen Rage.
Okay,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
you have
yeah.
another context.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. It's like Batman monologues.
I mean,
from
so the first
Dark
half of the
Knight.
movie, to me, should have been 15, 20 minutes. And it was
Nah.
at least 50. Because ultimately what happens is we're introduced to Mandy and Nic Cage, and then they have a couple scenes of their relationship. Then as part of that, we get some references to the fantasy novel that they make a reference to like green light or whatever, and that came through, but I didn't really understand what
It's
that
like
meant.
the orange stuff in Mother. You're not supposed
Yeah.
to know what it is. You're supposed to think about it.
So the checklist of things that happen
Everybody
in the
got that?
first half are they meet, we introduce the main characters, we're introduced to the cult.
We talk about chips.
We talk about Chips. The cult leader sees Mandy on the street and just is convinced that he needs to have her.
Do you know who he is, by the way?
No. The cult leader?
He's Thomas Wayne from
Ah,
Batman Begins.
I didn't even
Really?
realize that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it either.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Why
I
do we
think
cult
I
Bruce?
think in the first half we also get a very quick meeting with the like biker gang, which we get more info about later. And then the payoff of this whole sequence is that they capture her, she laughs at him, and then
Good
they
scene.
burn her alive. And I felt like the first half was really, really slow. Really slow.
Yeah, so what?
Well, to the point of being
Is slow bad automatically?
if the content is bad. Do you disagree? I feel like I feel like I'm
I
crazy.
don't directly disagree,
Okay,
but
all right.
the I would say that the beginning of the movie mildly captivated me.
So here's what I think. It's two
This
different.
wasn't The Godfather, so I hated it.
Wait, movie. So the first half was a good trip. The second half was a bad trip.
Okay.
So that's why I was slow
that's-
and
that's
appreciating
actually
the
a kind of
color
a
That's yeah.
and everything good about it. And the second part was the bad trip.
That's a cool way to think
yeah.
about it.
For me, the second Nic Cage got down from being tied up, and he even got stabbed under the ribs. Talk about mother. Like he's
Yeah.
strung up, gets stabbed. The second he gets down, that's when the movie's like, all right, I get what this is. I like this now because it's just bananas action.
I'm with Aaron. I kind of like the slowness of it.
Really?
Yeah.
It makes the second half that much better, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because if it was all one speed, it would kind of get tiring.
I
Yeah.
could not have hated the first half more. I don't think it was so obnoxious.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 for me, but, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, did you like the second half then?
Yes.
So, Cheddar Goblin. That's the first thing in my notes.
That was pretty much the scene 1 of Act 2.
But then immediately following that was the bathroom, which
Yeah, that was a cool
amazing.
scene.
Well, that's where the scene where and I think Red Letter Media pointed this out, where the cameraman they had no plan.
Yeah, they just did it.
And you can see the cameraman.
The
kinda
camera has hesitation and everything.
Are
you done?
and then he goes, pulls back, and doesn't know what to do.
That's how you do a scene like that, just by the seat of your pants.
Shoot with a wide and let him go.
Well, it was
So you get everything,
it was
you
a
know?
really weird bathroom set to begin with. They have
It
this
was very
like,
mundane.
sunflower wallpaper. There's like a
And he's
desk
bloody,
or
yeah.
something. For some reason,
And he's
there's,
got a bottle of liquor in the cabinet.
in the bathroom.
I mean, I think it's implied that he was like swearing off of that stuff. I don't know. I got that vibe.
Well, they started the movie with like that Ronald Reagan little speech he was listening to about like, we're gonna stop abortion and pornography, and he shuts it off. And I didn't know if like that was supposed to mean something other than maybe the time period. But they
I don't know.
gave us
Is it supposed to mean something?
I don't know. This is like Mother.
Panos Cosmatos. Does it mean something?
The bathroom scene.
I gotta
though-
say this though.
Okay.
I don't like his name.
Panos Cosmatos.
This movie would have been so much better if his name was like Joe Smith. Seriously, like Joe Smith made this.
What was that?
You know, like you're a badass, Joe Smith. You're awesome, but Panos comes.
What was that Futurama joke
So stupid.
where
Sorry,
where
you
the
ruined
robot
movie.
reads a
It's
script?
a good movie, but you ruined it.
What was
By
the
your
name of
name.
that actor robot in Futurama? Well, he reads a script and he's
gold,
like,
yeah.
no, I don't like the font.
Like your name, but
Calculon? Is that his name?
Calculon.
What's this director's name? I'm never going to say it again.
Panos Cosmatos.
He's a good director, but come on, just call yourself Joe Smith. I mean, like, just
Maybe
be
it's a
real.
I think-
Coppola situation.
You just hit Panos twice with the idea that his name sucks, and also that you're never going to see a movie from him again.
No,
and
I
you'd
said
say
no.
it out loud.
I'll see it again, but your name is gonna make me cringe every time I see
It's
it.
kind of a cringy name.
You're a good movie maker.
Before we get, because the rest of the
Panos
movie is so
Cosmatos.
What if we found out that
Wait,
that's his
the
real
Cosmatos.
name?
yeah.
Shit. Change it.
16 and up.
It was originally Panos Hitler or something. He had to change it.
Adolf Cosmatos.
But okay, so
Adolf Buttfart.
before we get to Predator and all the rest of it, the bathroom scene is worth talking about because it comes right after we're talking about Cheddar Goblin. Basically, he comes back from seeing his wife burned alive. He goes into their home. The first thing that happens, he turns on the TV. And there's this bizarre commercial of a goblin just vomiting mac and cheese
yeah.
for these kids who are just going ape shit. Immediately after that, he goes in the bathroom, he grabs the bottle, and he's just like chugging it and just screaming and getting blood in it. And he just keeps, and it goes on for a while.
Great scene.
And it's just, and then I think, and he's in his underwear and he's wearing a shirt with a tiger on it.
Yeah.
And it is amazing.
And I wonder if it's real alcohol in there.
Probably not.
Likely not.
I mean, Nic Cage
You
likes to
never
do his
know.
method thing, but I don't know. If that was vodka, that would have been a
Jupiter.
hard scene to do.
This movie's insane.
Now, yeah,
Right after that, he goes to Bill Duke, though, which,
Well,
and to get his.
I think the Cheddar Goblin, it gave me this vibe where whenever it feels like, let me try to articulate this. When things are happening in your life, it's easy to get distracted by the mundanity of day-to-day life, commercials, going to work, that sort of thing. It felt like the movie was trying to talk about that in some way.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Nothing really matters.
Like
But
the
the
ease
outside
of
world-
slipping into the mentality that nothing really matters.
True. Like the world, this tragedy that you felt, the world doesn't care.
Really? That's wow. I hadn't thought of it. I didn't think of
It's
it that
almost
way
like
at all.
it's a good movie.
It keeps moving. The world keeps moving no matter
Yeah.
whatever tragedy
I
you
feel
have.
like you could have done
Anything other than the Cheddar Goblin?
any ad there, but they went with Cheddar Goblin.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was funny.
It was.
It's definitely different.
So the rest of the movie is basically Nic Cage getting revenge on the cultists, but he has to start with the weird form, like LSD formula, hype enhanced monsters, biker monsters. So he starts there, and they look like they're what Hellraiser
They look like
characters or
demons.
something. Yeah,
Demons in leather.
and then he goes after the cult members afterwards. There's a million kooky action sequences through here. Is there
Yeah.
any you want to call out in particular?
I liked the scenes of him when he first started on that rampage, and then he tastes the tainted LSD.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
This random
cut.
gray jar, and he's like,
Not just
"What?"
because it looks cool, but the implication is that you have to become the beast to end the beast.
So and also explains why that's what made them
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It definitely because
Very Jungian. Sorry, I'm trying to get deep.
I don't think anybody has ever compared Mandy to
I'll bet you they have. I'll bet you $1.
Panos Cosmatos has.
You think it's Cosmatos instead of Cosmatos?
I don't know. I'm the one that said Mask of the
Caribbean,
Phantasm.
Caribbean.
Of course, if Matt's viewing of the first half of the movie is any indication, to be comatose.
Cool.
I did think it was funny that he pulled a longer chainsaw. Like in
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
preview.
that's-
That was funny.
The chainsaw sword fight I loved. I thought that was like
That was pure fun.
When you mentioned 80s, like
And the fact
that's
that he's
it.
a lumberjack, so like
Right,
using
yeah.
Yeah, they
like,
foreshadowed
shit,
it
yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah.
His weapon.
He knew how to use it.
I know how to use it.
Man, I forget exactly which scene happens after that. Is it the one where the guy's watching porn on the TV? The
Yeah.
next one,
And just like
going
going to town on
Yeah.
Coke or whatever was on that table.
Yeah. Why
There's
would he
also
do
like a
that?
bottomless pit in,
Yeah, in a little house.
when he
yeah.
was chained up.
Yeah.
I think that's the least of our concerns in this movie.
Yeah.
It's not hard to
Apparently,
dig.
that guy didn't die.
He also forged that weapon. Like his weapon,
It's
that
not
cool chrome axe thing.
I thought about that. It's not implicitly told how much time passes,
Sure. Oh, sure.
or it's not explicitly told.
Yeah, that sort of reminds me of Conan a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how much time passed. It could have been a week. That's not a very big concern. The big concern is how cool it looks.
So there on the screen behind me, the part when he's looking at her and it morphs to her face a little bit, that was kind of trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of the deep fake before deep fakes.
I
now.
wonder why they did it, though.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Because are they trying to say that they're similar, or is
He's
that just the
manipulating
surface
her.
the surface level?
I thought maybe it was going to be like the cult leader getting in her head. And,
Okay, that makes sense.
But then she just immediately, maybe because he took off all his clothes and he's just standing there naked, that broke her trance or something. But
yeah, that was an odd decision on his part.
yeah.
What a bad cult leader.
Did she laugh because he had a small penis? Is that why?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't.
I thought that was at least partially it. And I went like this. Held my
Ages
fingers
16 and up.
Yeah.
It seemed like maybe that, but also, how do you take down somebody with like that? They probably have a pretty bad ego, and the only way to put them in their place is to deride them, to make fun of them in whatever
Yeah.
way you can. So maybe it was a desperate ploy. Who knows?
Yeah. I just realized he isn't wearing a tiger shirt during the scene, during his rampage. But when he confronts
He puts on the shirt that he wore when he met her.
Right. But when he confronts the tiger, he confronts the chemist who makes the LSD, I guess.
Who has a tiger.
He has a tiger, and he just says, "Goodbye, Lizzie." The tiger runs away. I wonder if that's supposed to be connected to his tiger shirt, like
I wonder.
uncaged or whatever.
I think there's a 100% chance that there was a connection there.
I don't know.
Maybe
Panos-
99%.
Panos comatose.
Got him.
Comatose.
I just don't. I mean, come on, Joe Smith.
Come on.
Yeah, call
keep
yourself
it
Joe
easy.
Smith.
I'm going to look up his name and see if that's his real name.
This is like
Pull it up, Jamie.
the Parks and Rec joke where Jason Mantzoukas playing he changed his name from like, oh my gosh, some exotic name, and he changed it to Dennis Feinstein because Dennis Feinstein's a more exotic name where he lives.
This is a mystery.
The end of the movie, he basically comes to what I thought was a pretty cool set, that like pyramid church thing.
Okay, he was born George Pan Cosmatos.
George?
Yeah, it was George.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's call him George from now
His
on.
middle name is Pan,
Yeah.
so there's the Pan.
It's a derivation. It's still snooty. Still don't like it.
Nic Cage basically arrives and confronts him, and
George.
he begs for his begs for his life, I guess, is
Begs for. Oh yeah.
at the very end, and he pops his head with his. He just like
Yeah.
uses his hands.
That was cool.
Where I think with the script would have been better if he didn't kill the hard guys first. Maybe one hard guy
Oh, the
lived to
bikers.
protect him. You mean to make it really hard for him to kill him? That like because you want that revenge.
Yeah.
But like you knew after he killed the bikers, it's like these other guys are gonna be a slice
Yeah,
of
that
cake. Other than the
mouth-breather guy.
chainsaw guy, but like that wasn't even a big deal.
The chainsaw guy who we didn't even
Yeah.
really see before.
No.
So
Wait a second. Oh no, I think we're talking. This is a different guy. He died in 2005.
That's probably his dad, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Some of his best work, Rambo: First Blood.
this
Part
must
2.
be the dad.
That
Wow.
was the dad, yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
George Cosmatos.
We still hate you, Panos. Only for your name, though.
Last thing I wanted to ask you guys was the fantasy world. Is that how did you interpret that when they kind of cut to?
Well, there were some
Mars?
connections to the real world.
But like it's a different world? I had no idea.
Well, they talked about
Yeah.
planets earlier on. That was probably a visualization of what was going on in his mind.
But it was
Yeah.
one of them could have been Jupiter and the other one did look like Saturn.
I thought it was just generic fantasy landscape. I didn't even connect it to planets.
Me neither.
Really. Like
Yeah.
specific planets.
They do little visualizations. Like early on when he starts the acid trip, tasting the tainted acid, he sees that place that the chemist is in before he gets there. That's what
did
I
he?
saw.
I did.
So maybe that's what he's seeing. You know,
Yeah.
the trip, that's what he's visually seeing.
Maybe, yeah.
There's a lot to dissect here, and I don't think we're gonna get all of it. Like I've been thinking about this movie for like 3 weeks, and that's why I like it because it made me think.
Yeah.
I didn't have it completely figured out 5 minutes after we got out of Mother. Yeah.
So, well, why don't we go? Let's go around. Let's rate the movie now because I'd be curious to see. Did you like this more than Mother? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Roughly 3 times more.
Yeah.
I don't remember what you gave Mother, so I don't know
It
if
was
that's
probably
good
like a
or
3
not.
or 4.
Okay. What? Whoa. Okay. What did you guys give the movie then?
I
Out of
give
10.
it an 8. It was fun.
What?
It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. It was fun. It was different. I never seen anything like that.
8. What did you give it?
I give it a 7.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
I
watched it twice.
I initially gave it a 3.
A 3?
And now I'm giving it a 2. I hated the first half and the very end. I hated it. Hated it. Like I was angry watching it. I hated
Why?
it.
I don't have a boo
I
sound
don't.
effect.
I believe you get angry at things that you can't control.
No, this
yeah.
is one of the most enjoyable movies I've seen in the recent past.
It was interesting.
Oh my god.
I'm glad I chose this one because it was either that or the other Nic Cage horror movie that they did recently. It was like From the Color of Space.
Oh yeah.
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 This one seemed more fun.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I mean, I might watch it.
It was
one
the
more
good
time.
kind of pretentious. It
Yeah.
actually had some meat on its bones.
But his name, his fucking name.
That's why it got an 8 and not a 9.
Yeah. No. I got an 8 because I just pure like I don't. No, this is interesting.
See, it's like an ogre. And what do ogres have? They have layers. And you see, the first layer is the visual storytelling. There's a lot of flair to it. It's fun to look at. And then when you get past that, there's little things. Like I saw some Christianity elements. I forget them because I watched it a couple weeks ago. But I saw some like Mother type stuff. And I thought it was much better done.
I thought it was nice that someone. This is definitely this guy's movie. You know, I don't.
It's his own movie, and it really feels that way. No one else could have done
That's
this.
true. It at least does not feel.
It's
It
not
feels like a
contrived.
unique voice. Yeah, 100%. And
I
just
would watch it again.
letting
Yeah,
Nic
me
Cage
too.
go.
I'm curious about
is
What did you
always
think the
worth-
symbolism of the tiger was, Matt?
I have nothing.
I got nothing either. I don't really care.
Perhaps
I
it
just thought it
was
was a good movie.
perhaps it was the release of his rage. Because he was wearing the tiger shirt earlier, and then he wasn't.
Well,
then.
here it is.
Yeah.
I just figured it out.
Oh yeah,
Nicolas Cage,
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, the tiger,
Yeah.
was uncaged.
That's what I said.
But he had been uncaged before that scene.
No, but the tiger is Nicolas Cage, and he's uncaged.
That's what I said when we were talking about
No,
the
no,
scene.
but I say it better. Fake news.
Yeah. Well, we had a wide difference of opinion on this one. Kind of like what was the last one we did? Ben and I liked a movie much more.
It was her.
Her, yeah. You didn't like that one.
I
as
really
much.
didn't care for
Let's
it.
see if we continue this trend with our next episode.
I doubt it.
It's
Young Frankenstein
next.
It
Yeah.
is Young Frankenstein. Impossible. That movie. I mean, I'm going to spoil it. I like that movie.
Controversial opinion. Tune in next time for the next installment of Spook of Madness.
All right. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.